Imagine a world where the most advanced surgical tool was a sharpened stone, and the operating table was bare earth. For millennia, our ancestors performed a procedure so shocking, so daring, it continues to mystify modern science: ancient skull surgery. It is a tale etched not in parchment or stone tablets, but in the very bones of humanity, a testament to an audacious past we are only just beginning to comprehend. Welcome to Echoes of Time, your portal to the forgotten pages of history, where we reveal the secrets that lie under the dust of centuries and tell the stories that never made it into the history books. Tonight, we delve into one of humanity's most bizarre brain secrets. Why did countless cultures across the globe intentionally drill holes into human skulls? The very thought conjures images of horror and desperation, a practice far removed from our sophisticated modern operating theaters. Yet, across continents and millennia, a single, extraordinary thread connects diverse civilizations: the intentional perforation of the human skull, a procedure known to us today as trepanation. Was it a primitive medical marvel, an act of compassionate healing in an age devoid of advanced medicine, or a ritual shrouded in darker spiritual beliefs, a gateway to realms beyond our current understanding? The answers, as we shall see, are as complex and multifaceted as the cultures that embraced this perilous art. From the rugged peaks of the Andes where ancient empires rose and fell, to the fertile crescent of ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, and the misty forests of Neolithic Europe, long before the dawn of recorded history, archaeological digs have unearthed a startling number of skulls bearing unmistakable signs of trepanation. These are not isolated anomalies, but a recurring phenomenon, a testament to a shared, albeit mysterious, aspect of early human ingenuity and belief. The evidence suggests it was practiced as far back as 7000 BCE, placing it firmly among the oldest known surgical procedures humanity has ever conceived. To perform such a delicate and dangerous operation 7,000 years ago, without anesthesia, without antiseptics, with only the crudest of tools, speaks volumes about the drive and perhaps the desperation that compelled these ancient practitioners. What makes this discovery even more astonishing is not just the existence of the procedure itself, but the undeniable proof that many patients survived for years after the ordeal. The telltale signs of bone regeneration around the edges of the drilled hole indicate that the living tissue healed, a remarkable biological feat that suggests not only a high degree of surgical skill, but also an astonishing understanding of human anatomy and rudimentary pain management. How did they prevent infection in a world without antibiotics? How did they manage the agonizing pain of a living skull being scraped or cut open? These questions open a window into a hidden world of ancient knowledge that allowed individuals to endure and recover from a procedure that would be daunting even today. Early explanations for trepanation often focused on pragmatic, if rudimentary, attempts to alleviate pressure from head injuries, perhaps due to blows sustained in battle or accidents. It was also considered a cure for debilitating headaches, conditions so severe that such a drastic intervention might have been seen as the only recourse. Beyond the purely physical, a more esoteric interpretation suggested that the practice was intended to exorcise malevolent spirits believed to reside within the afflicted, a dark and potent force causing illness or madness that could only be released through a hole in the skull. Yet, as we delve deeper, the true motivations behind ancient skull surgery are revealed to be far more complex and intensely debated among historians and medical anthropologists. The tapestry of human experience is rarely woven from a single thread, and trepanation is no exception. It represents a confluence of medical necessity, spiritual conviction, and societal structure, making it one of the most enigmatic chapters in the history of medicine and belief. We find ourselves peering through a veil of millennia, attempting to decode intentions that are irrevocably intertwined with worldviews vastly different from our own.
One prominent hypothesis posits trepanation as a purely therapeutic intervention, a desperate measure to address tangible physical ailments.
In such cases, a warrior suffering from a skull fracture, bone fragments pressing dangerously against the brain, or a victim of severe head trauma, the swelling within their cranium causing unbearable pain and neurological distress. In such cases, the logic for creating an opening to relieve intracranial pressure would have been compelling, a literal release of the force that threatened life itself. But beyond obvious injuries, this theory also extends to conditions like epilepsy, with its dramatic seizures and altered states of consciousness, which might have been seen as a manifestation of internal imbalance or even spiritual possession. Mental disorders, too, presenting as erratic behavior, hallucinations, or profound melancholy, could have been interpreted as an illness that needed to be released, or literally given an exit route from the afflicted mind. The act of opening the skull, then, becomes a direct, if brutal, attempt to restore balance and health, a testament to human empathy and ingenuity in the face of suffering, however primitive their understanding of neuroanatomy. However, the motivations for this bizarre procedure are not confined to the purely medical. Another powerful perspective suggests its roots were purely ritualistic or spiritual. In many ancient cultures, the boundaries between medicine, magic, and religion were fluid, often indistinguishable. Trepanation, in this context, could have been a profound rite of passage, a harrowing initiation into adulthood, or a specific societal role, where surviving the ordeal proved one's strength, courage, or spiritual fortitude. Imagine the individual who emerged from such an experience, marked both physically and spiritually, holding a unique status within their community. Alternatively, it might have been seen as a means to enhance spiritual perception, to open a gateway in the skull to allow direct communion with the divine, to facilitate visions, or to access higher states of consciousness. The brain, the seat of thought and spirit, could have been perceived as a vessel that, once opened, allowed for a deeper connection to the cosmos or the spirit world. In some darker interpretations, it might have even been a barbaric form of punishment, a gruesome display of power or retribution, though the evidence of survival in many cases would complicate this explanation. The sheer audacity of drilling into the skull for non-medical reasons points to a profound belief system that granted immense power and significance to the human cranium. A third intriguing theory proposes that certain communities saw the procedure as a mark of status, or a symbolic act to achieve a higher state of being. In societies where social hierarchies were paramount, physical modifications often served as powerful indicators of one's position or achievements. Perhaps only the elite, the revered healers, the most formidable warriors, or those designated as spiritual leaders underwent trepanation, their open skulls serving as living badges of honor, wisdom, or divine favor. It could have been a symbolic act of transcendence, a literal and metaphorical opening of the mind to attain a new level of existence, to connect with ancestors, or to signify a sacred transformation. The enduring evidence of such practices on skeletons across different regions points not only to a shared curiosity about the brain, but also to a diverse range of interpretations and applications that reflect the rich tapestry of human culture and belief. The enigma only deepens when we consider the sheer diversity of tools, techniques, and survival rates across these different cultures and time periods. Some skulls show evidence of scraping, a slow and arduous method where layers of bone were carefully removed. Others reveal precise drilling patterns, suggesting a mastery of rudimentary tools like flint, obsidian, or even early metal implements, used to create a series of holes that would then allow the removal of a section of bone. Still others bear the unmistakable marks of cutting, a more direct and perhaps riskier approach.
This variation speaks not only to different levels of technological advancement, but also to distinct cultural preferences, surgical traditions, and perhaps even differing intentions.
The success rates, too, vary wildly. From regions where a significant percentage of individuals survived for years, indicating sophisticated post-operative care and a deep understanding of hygiene, to others where the procedure was almost certainly fatal, suggesting a more ritualistic or even desperate application, perhaps performed on individuals already near death. This complex mosaic of methods and outcomes underscores that there was no single, universal reason or technique for trepanation, but rather a spectrum of practices, each reflecting the unique socio-medical spiritual context of its time and place. As we journey through the ages with echoes of time, we are faced with the profound implications of these findings. Ancient skull surgery forces us to reconsider our assumptions about the medical knowledge and spiritual complexity of our distant ancestors. They were not merely primitive beings reacting to immediate needs, but individuals capable of intricate surgical procedures, rudimentary anatomical understanding, and deeply held beliefs that drove them to undertake such a perilous act. The motivations remain elusive, shrouded in the mists of antiquity, but the evidence etched in bone provides tantalizing clues.
Decoding humanity's bizarre brain secrets is not just an archaeological quest, it is a journey into the very essence of what it means to be human, to suffer, to heal, to believe, and to strive for understanding, even when facing the terrifying unknown within our own minds. What compelled our ancestors to undertake such a perilous procedure? Was it the primal scream of a headache so debilitating that even the risk of death was preferable to continued agony? Was it a sacred quest for enlightenment, a physical alteration designed to bring them closer to the divine? Was it an early, desperate attempt at neurosurgery, born from observation and ingenuity, a testament to their desire to heal and to alleviate suffering? The answers are etched in bone and shrouded in the mists of antiquity, a constant reminder of the profound questions that still lie buried beneath the surface of history. We may never fully grasp the entirety of their reasoning, but each discovery brings us closer to understanding the echoes of their courage, their suffering, and their enduring human spirit. What might this ancient practice tell us about the fundamental human desire to control pain, to seek spiritual connection, or to push the boundaries of knowledge, even with the most rudimentary tools at hand?